that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Last time this week that from the studio, as tomorrow we'll be out in Omaha at the College World Series. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day?
So far, so good.
Good.
Except for one small thing.
What's that?
Somebody called me old today.
Oh, no. You're getting up there in age.
Hurt my feelings.
30?
Yeah.
You should
refresh
you're established for the most part, so I mean you're there.
just a little bit. I've just seen some things, been around for a little bit. I don't think it's necessary to call somebody old for it, but it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
My feelings weren't hurt.
It sounds like they were.
As much as they, might have been. It's okay.
Is it obvious to tell that like I came in at the last moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I came in at the last moment to the studio. I was doing some work.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually working, doing some work, and I
Yeah.
rushed in to because I heard the intro playing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was already 12 o'clock. Terrell Farley was bothering me about the cake that's out there because Mark made a cake. Looks delicious.
I haven't been out there yet.
But yeah, Terrell's bothering me. He got mad because he thought I cut the cake. I cut the first slice of cake, and I was like, dude, I've been in here the entire time on the phone.
Yeah.
So anyway, went down to the new studio today.
Yeah. How's it looking?
Exciting stuff.
How's it looking?
It looks really good. Really, really good. Super excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, I'm going to tell everybody exactly why you were saying that we're going to be down in Omaha for the College World Series, because we're joining the Blur tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha. We're going to be down there starting at 10 a.m., going all the way to 6 p.m. However, the doors do not open until 10:30 for everyone else, but we will be there. You can listen to us. It'll be a blast. You can be there from 10:30 to midnight from tomorrow going all the way through June 24th. And it's going to be great. It's going to be on the corner of 12th and Cass. You're going to be right outside of the Hilton where LSU and Wake Forest are staying. You're not going to be able to miss it. There's a giant white tent. You'll be able to see Blur parties right there, and we'll be there as well. The 11th annual tailgate, an all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 4K TV showing live baseball games, multiple seating options, and there will be a hammock that I want to sit in the entire time that I am down there.
Yeah.
You can buy your tickets at the door or preferably online at www.blurevents.com/Omaha. That's www.blurevents.com/Omaha.
Rico, you got to take control because I got to figure this out.
You're going to try and figure that out? Do you want to take control and I'll go figure it out?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. As you can see, we're having a couple technical difficulties. We're trying to make sure we have all of our streams set up, and it looks like one of them is struggling just a little bit. So Rico's going to go take care of that. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both of those open for you guys the entire show today. It is another 2-hour edition of the Happy Hour. We'll be doing 2-hour shows up until Bach comes back, which is after the College World Series. So you're going to have a pretty heavy dose or a healthy dose of Nick, myself, and Rico up until the College World Series is over. Today, got a good show for you guys lined up. We're going to be joined by our good friend Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska here in about 15 or 20 minutes or so to talk Husker football recruiting. He actually got to sit down with Husker football quarterback commit Daniel Kalen, and he was able to kind of talk about the process of how Nebraska was recruiting Dylan Raiola for a while and then ends up, coming back to Daniel Kalen. So we'll talk to Zack at 12:30. Then at 1:30, we're going to be joined by the voice of Husker softball, Nate Rohr, will join the show just to talk about I think it's a momentous day. I think it's okay to clarify today as an exciting and momentous day for Nebraska softball. You get the
I think it's just Nebraska athletics in general.
Okay, Nebraska athletics in general, because here's the deal. You get the best player in the entire game of softball right now, and the college ranks at least, to join your team. And there's a lot of hypothetical scenarios of what could happen, branching off of that. But then in addition, just what does next season look like when you return so many people, and you add, a player of Jordy Ball's caliber to it. So with that in mind, once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, and the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. Rico.
Hi.
Thoughts on today? We only have about 10 minutes left in this first segment, so we can start off with Jordy Ball, especially since we're going to switch to football at 12:30. Thoughts on today? We had the feeling, we knew for a couple days that it was going to be to Nebraska. Now it's official. It's officially official. Papers are signed, and Nebraska softball released a pretty sweet video as well that gave us some goosebumps.
Didn't even mention her in it, but
No.
it was a glorious video.
And so you just sense that there's a lot of excitement, and understandably so.
Oh yeah, today is a massive day, as you just mentioned, with the addition of Jordy Ball, the number one player in the 2021 class from the state of Nebraska. Goes to Oklahoma, wins 2 Women's College World Series, a Freshman of the Year, and an MVP at the Women's College World Series this last season. This is just a massive step forward for Nebraska softball after losing such impactful players as Courtney Wallace and Maya Felder, being able to reload with the addition of Jordy Ball, who, in my eyes, I think she's going to play both sides. I think she's going to pitch, and I think she's going to hit as well, because she is a pretty solid batter as well. I don't. It's hard for me to put into words how massive this get is for Nebraska softball, and how elated, Rhonda Revelle and this coaching staff and these players must feel to add somebody like this, because as I mentioned earlier on the captain, having, especially in softball, having a pitcher with the amount of talent and the amount of skill as Jordy on your team kind of allows you to make a few more mistakes, because she'll be able to cover it up with the amount of strikeouts that she gets. I know you had a stat earlier, her strikeout to walk ratio this last season, or her 2 seasons at Oklahoma, is just ridiculous. The amount of strikeouts that she gets, the ground balls that she induces, and having a solid defense behind her. Nebraska had I think they were a 970 fielding percentage as a team, which is pretty solid. They had, I took a little stats earlier. They had 49 total errors as a team this last season.
Wow.
Which is a lot, but at the same time, they made some spectacular plays. And having a pitcher who is going to strike people out more often than not is going to help take those errors down a tad.
Well, so you mentioned the strikeout to walk ratio for Jordy Ball in her career at Oklahoma in 288 2/3 innings, which is quite a few in 2 years.
Just a little.
I mean, that's averaging 104 1/3 a year. But in those 2 years, Jordy Ball strikes out 397 batters while only walking 71. And that's combined in her entire college career. You want to look at just the strikeout per inning ratio. It's about a batter and a half an inning. She's on average. She's striking out per inning.
Yeah.
And once again, it's not like we don't have a large enough sample size to detect or to get some statistics and numbers to back up what we're saying. We have 2 whole seasons playing for the best team in the country the last 3 years. Wins 2 national titles, and just an unbelievable athlete, an unbelievable addition. Mentioned it earlier. Jordy Ball appeared in 71 games with 46 starts and compiled a 44-2 record with a 1.00 earned run average. Now, what's interesting is some of the history that she made just in her 2 short seasons with the Sooners. Her earned run average ranked 2nd in Oklahoma history and was the lowest mark since the pitching distance was increased from 40 to 43 feet in 1988.
The fact that it's the second lowest and it's a 1 ERA is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Jordy Ball also boasted the second best winning percentage, winning 96% of the games that she played in, and opponent batting average, as opponents only hit .153 off of Jordy Ball. She also ranked third in strikeouts per 7 innings, and she averaged 9.72 strikeouts per 7 innings. And then she also recorded 5 saves in her career. Here's this. As a Papillion La Vista graduate, Jordy Ball did not allow a run in 50 of her 71 career appearances with the Sooners. So, they go on to say, including 15 shutouts among her 26 complete games. She posted 11 games with double-digit strikeouts and only allowed 30 extra base hits in 993 opponent at-bats.
Oh, yeah, that checks out. Yeah, no, that's normal.
That is stunning phrase. Those 2 sentences. Jordy Ball did not allow a run in 50 of her 71 career appearances, including 15 shutouts among her 26 complete games. She posted 11 games with double-digit strikeouts and allowed only 30 extra base hits, so 30 combined, double, triple, home run.
Mm-hmm.
That's extra base hits, obviously. 30 extra base hits in 993 opponent at-bats.
This has got to be the biggest transfer in portal history.
See, and there's a lot of people pushing back on that. And I just don't see how it's not.
Think about it this way. I tweeted at my good friend Caleb Henry, who said the same thing, and I just had not a pushback, but just like a question. He said that this is like Jalen Hurts leaving Alabama he didn't say Oklahoma, for a different school, a month after winning the national title and being named MVP, like if that would have happened. And I said, is this like Jordan Addison winning the Biletnikoff and going to USC? He said, no, he transferred up. And I said, is this like Caleb Williams leaving Oklahoma and going to USC? And he was like, no, he was following his coach. Like, that's totally different that way as well. Jordy Ball left after winning 2 national championships, winning the MVP of the tournament 4 days after she won that MVP and won that second title, and went back to her home state. And this is no disrespect to Nebraska softball, but to a program that isn't as good as Oklahoma softball.
Now, we're getting some pushback on the text line that the Big Ten does not compare to the Big 12.
You're right. The Big 12 is better.
So the Big 12, if you look at it, they had, let's see, so Oklahoma's obviously 61-1 was their record. Texas was 45-15. Oklahoma State was 47-16, and Baylor was 40-18.
And among those 40 wins for Baylor, a win against Oklahoma.
In the Big Ten Conference, there were only 2 teams that surpassed 40 wins. Minnesota had 38, and Nebraska was 4th with 36. So those
weren't even the 2 best teams in the Big Ten.
And so that is where it's fascinating, because this isn't a Nebraska goes to, they're not a regional team. They strike gold with somebody who's the best player in the country that wants to, maybe make them a regional team. That's not the case at all.
This is a regional final team.
This is a team that won 41 games 2 years ago, Big Ten title, and then last year loses in the regional final and wins 36 games. And that's with one of their pitchers being injured for the entire season. So I just think there's a lot of optimism. And yeah, so unnamed texture was just clarifying. We appreciate you.
Okay.
We appreciate you chiming in. Thank you for clarifying. That does help out. But anyway, I mean, that just gives you optimism as we go forward, because it's not like Nebraska was even middle of the road. It's not like a men's basketball team for Nebraska getting one of the best players in the country and going, all right, well, let's hope that just takes them up to a top 4 seed in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. This is why I'm excited to talk to Nate Rohr, the voice of Husker softball, in about an hour or so, just because what is the expectation?
Yeah.
Is the expectation Big Ten title?
Yes. I got to be careful with the way that I think that's the floor.
Hold on. Okay. Now, see, I don't want to say that.
I got to be careful because look, they're 2 years removed from winning the Big Ten title.
I understand that.
They're last year being a regional finalist, and coming up, if your bats didn't fall asleep at the Big Ten tournament,
yeah,
your pitching was up to par. I mean, you only allowed 2 runs and then 3 runs, but you couldn't muster any runs for a team that was one of the best offenses in the conference in the Big Ten tournament. If your bats don't fall asleep, you're playing for another Big Ten title. Maybe winning it. You're going to face Northwestern again, or you did face Northwestern. Maybe winning it. Back-to-back Big Ten titles. I think this edition, and again, in softball, a pitcher of this caliber makes a massive difference on the team.
That is true. That is true.
So I don't want to sound. I don't want to sound. I don't know the word I'm looking for, like an idiot or anything, but I think that should be something that obviously you strive for every season. But if you win a Big Ten title, I don't think that is something that you leave. If that's all you do this season, if you win a Big Ten title and lose in regionals again, I don't think you're satisfied with that season.
Well, no, absolutely.
And
not.
I don't think that you look back at that season and say, yeah, we had a really good season.
But with or without Jordy Ball, I think you don't.
I mean, obviously, you're looking for more.
You're looking
year after year.
Yeah, you're looking to improve every year.
But with this edition, losing in the regionals is not winning a Big Ten title and losing in regionals is not. That's not a because we look back at this last season. It was a pretty solid season. You dealt with a couple of injuries, and you had to make do with what you got. You were relying on Courtney Wallace game after game to start games and end games for you. And if she didn't have a good performance, you were like, oh, I don't know if this is going to do really well. And that's no disrespect to anybody else, but if she didn't have a good game, it was, oh no, we're in a little bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's kind of something crazy. We got asked a question on the text line.
Mm-hmm.
It says, is the freshman from Indiana who's in the portal coming to Nebraska? I honestly don't know. What I would say to any other questions regarding transfer additions to Nebraska softball, they're full on scholarships. So whether that's moving somebody on from the program to make room for somebody, or if there's loopholes through NIL and all that good stuff as well that can act as scholarships, if you will. So that takes a lot of fundraising, and I don't know how willing boosters and alumni will be to open up the pocketbooks for a team that has made the regional finals the last 2 years, but hasn't gone very far after that, hasn't been able to get after that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And that's where it's like, that's where you see the differences in athletics at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because folks will still open up the pocketbooks for football and then potentially men's basketball, potentially. And then, then you see maybe not so much when it comes to baseball, softball, and other sports. And so you see the differences where now softball, it's insane to think about the buzz and the attention that's going to be on Nebraska softball next year. Like, do not get it twisted. They are going to have national eyes on Nebraska at the start of next softball season.
Mm-hmm.
At the start of next softball season. I just saw this tweet from a Big Ten softball analyst, Samantha Netling, and she tweeted this out at 11 a.m. this morning. For those playing catch up to the team welcoming All-American ace Jordy Ball, Husker softball is one of the most underrated offenses in the country and will return practically their entire starting lineup. 1 All-American, 3 first-team All-Big Ten players, and a stacked senior class. For a program that loves their hitting pitchers, I imagine we'll see a lot more of Jordy Ball in the box as well as in the circle next year for Husker softball. Billy and Brooke Andrews, Caitlin Kaneda, Sydney Gray, Abby Squire, Ava Bredwell, Caitlin Neal, and now Jordy Ball. That is the lineup for Husker softball.
That's a sick lineup.
That's exciting. A lot of exciting stuff going on.
So the Indiana freshman that this person was talking about is the Big Ten Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year, Taryn Kern, who I didn't know entered the portal. She did that 10 days ago, actually, on June 5th.
How about that? I know Nebraska is talking to some people, but I don't know where they're putting them.
She's an infielder. Based on this picture, shortstop.
Okay. Not second base?
Not second base.
Could be similar.
I like my second baseman. But also, shortstop, Billy Andrews.
That's true. That's right. Utility.
The only position that they lost outside of Courtney Felder, who was a pitcher, was
Courtney
first
Wallace.
base. Courtney Wallace. What the heck is my problem?
Maya
Felder. I just combined the two. That would be a great player.
Yeah.
Maya
good
Felder,
at hitting and good at pitching.
Oh, be fantastic. Maya Felder at first base.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, that's our little pickup on softball until we talk to the voice of the Husker softball team, Nate Rohr, coming up at 1:30. But first, we welcome in Zack Carpenter after the commercial break to talk about Husker football. Daniel Kalen is out at Elite 11 camps. What's Zach know about what's going on out there? We'll ask him from inside Nebraska coming up next. You're listening to the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Usually, to get a skybox view of a Nebraska football game, you need to be a drone, a hawk, or a fighter jet. But sitting in an actual skybox is a lot more comfortable. So, enter the Nebraska Lottery's Lucky for Life ticket stamp. Until July 10th, buy a Lucky for Life ticket and enter for a chance to win Nebraska football skybox season tickets or other great ticket prizes. Sure, fighter jets are cool, but there's no legroom.
Lucky for Life top prize odds 1 in 30 million.
Are you here for the job interview?
I just saw that ad that said, apply here for dream job.
What qualifications do you have?
What exactly would I be doing?
Well, this is a dream job. You would be daydreaming.
All day?
Start at 8 a.m. and spend the day dreaming about all the millions you could win playing Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery.
I'm good at that.
We want people with big imaginations, not just the usual yachts and exotic vacations.
Like a city built with bouncy houses. Or limo for dogs.
You're hired.
Mega Millions top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Save money on energy-efficient equipment with the LES Sustainable Energy Program. Nearly half of the financial incentives are still available for qualifying projects. View incentives and learn more at les.com/SEP.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing future.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding area. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing. At 6701 Husker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and Contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornerstone Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plant for success with the industry's latest technology. Upgrade to an Exact Emerge high-speed planter to cover more acres, increasing flexibility and productivity. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location to order your new John Deere planter and experience the Landmark difference.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road. Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
You're listening to Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it? Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. It's the happy hour, 2-hour edition of the happy hour, that is. Right here, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. So I guess, if you will, it's the happy hours, right? So it's almost Friday, and it's just a great day in Husker athletics right now, which is obviously with Jordy Ball. But now, also, Nebraska football has their 3-star quarterback commit, Daniel Kalen, hanging out at the Elite 11 series. And so now we'll turn to the Allo VIP line. And so, born and raised right here in Nebraska, Allo Fiber understands the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Experience a buffer-free online experience with the peace of mind of doing business with a local company. Once again, that's Allo Fiber. So let's go to the Allo VIP line. 246, and we're joined by Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Zack, what's up, man? How's it going?
Pretty good, fellas. How we doing? Coming here a day earlier than the normal slot, but happy to be.
Oh, that is right. It is a day earlier than the normal slot.
Yeah, something important must have happened. To start writing some more shoots here, so I can start catch your guys' eye a little bit.
Well, honestly, Zack, when I called you this morning, I really thought it was Friday. I didn't think anything of it.
I thought it was Thursday. It was me and Greg both told each other yesterday. We thought it was Thursday multiple times yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we're all a day back. Maybe we just want it to be Friday and Saturday already.
It's a little bit of a weird week, but we would have been in Omaha if it was Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you guys are going there, right? I didn't get a chance to go last summer, but I'm going to be going at least once this summer. I've never been to the College World Series, but that's on the. I don't know if it's like high up on the bucket list, but it's up there. It's on the bucket list. One of my buddies, a couple of them from college, go like every year. So that's a little tradition. I'm like, let me just come up and crash that real quick, huh?
Well,
we
for sure.
We should have waited, just had him join us down at the Blur Tailgate.
Yeah, I should just hop on and be your expert baseball analysis guy who doesn't know that much about baseball.
Perfect. Hey, honestly, though, I mean, just if you want to come hang out and just say hello, we'll be a block south of the stadium, so not a whole lot out of your way.
All right, I'll come up at least. Just say hi from a distance.
Yeah.
Wave. Technically, you're a competition, I guess. So
Oh,
I'll be like,
that's
hey,
right. I forgot.
respect.
Yeah, of
That
course.
makes
I forgot about
sense.
that. Okay, well, anyway, we're joined by Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Zack, you wrote an article over Daniel Kalin today, who is at the Elite 11 finals. For those that don't know, what is the Elite 11? Because it's not just the best 11 quarterbacks in the country.
Yes, national quarterback competition, founded by Trent Dilfer, former Ravens quarterback, won the Super Bowl with the Ravens back in 2000, and former ESPN analyst, yada yada, head coach at UAB now. But they handpick the top 20 quarterbacks to invite out to California. It used to be in Oregon, but now it's in California as of late. Get them all together and put them through 3 days of drills. I mean, the first day is just like standard throwing drills. Used to be, they used to have this target challenge. I don't think they have it anymore. But so yesterday was the first day, and standard throwing drills. They had this drill called the rail shot, which is you get one. It's a really hard throw, like deep down the field, like up the sideline, and like you have to place it absolutely perfectly to get points. Tonight's the pro day competition where it's designed like you would on NFL Pro Day. Test accuracy, ball placement, things of that sort, arm strength. And then tomorrow, Friday, is the last day. It's a 7-on-7 competition where they have 4 teams. I think it's 4 teams, maybe more. They all sort of face off against each other, like round robin sort of deal. But it's pretty much designed to name the Elite 11 out of those 20 top 11 quarterbacks named and then MVP. It's kind of crazy, the alumni list that's on there. I mean, you got Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, and then of late, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud won a couple years ago, and Jeff Sims was there in 2019, or maybe it was 2018. I think he was competing against Justin Fields. But yeah, it's a laundry list of who's who of elite quarterbacks, and Danny Kalin was invited out there this year, and last year Zane Flores was invited out. So Zane was the first quarterback from Nebraska to ever get the Elite 11 invite. And it's been going on over 2 decades now. And now Kalin makes back-to-back Nebraska quarterbacks to be invited. So that's a pretty big national spotlight that the state's under now.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually.
How much of a recruiting boost do you think Nebraska could get if Daniel Kalin wins the Elite 11 camp?
Well, I mean, I almost don't even want to go down that road because I don't think he'll win it. I think he has a chance to be named one of the Elite 11, but that thing's so hard to win especially if you're lower ranked, because the one gripe I have with the Elite 11 that doesn't make any damn sense to me at all is that the scoring system, which I don't even have the scoring system totally public, like points wise, like it goes into it. But I do know, unless it changed this year, that the evaluation is 50% on your junior season film and 50% on the competition itself, which those percentages just don't make sense to me. It's like, all right, well, why have the competition at all? Why not just have 3 days of 7-on-7 or something? Like, I get the coaching aspect of it. They're getting really valuable coaching, but the scoring system doesn't make sense. I feel like if you're going to include season film, you're going to have this big quarterback competition and you call everyone out. Maybe it should be divvied up like 75-25. But yeah, like Caleb Williams in 2020, he was in the 2021 class. He won it, and it's like, really? Like he didn't look bad. He's okay, but there's a couple other guys like Kyle McCord, who clearly performed better, but because of the way the percentages are weighed. But he could pull a Cade Klubnik from Clemson like he did 2 years ago. I've been out to the Elite 11 one time, and that was when Quinn Ewers, Cade Klubnik were kind of going at each other or kind of competing back and forth. And Cade I wouldn't have put him up in the upper echelon of guys he expected to win. He was a 4-star, like wasn't lowly Like he had an awesome 3 days. It shot up the board, and he wound up being the number 1 or number 2 quarterback and like a top 5, top 10 overall prospect by the time he signed. So I mean, Danny could make a big rise. He has a chance to move from 3 to 4-star status. He's right on the cusp of it. I mean, our system 5.8 rating is a 4-star, 5.7 is a 3-star. So he's got a chance.
We're talking to Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. And Zach, staying on Danny Kaelin for just a moment. You wrote an article earlier today, I believe. Was it just today? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, today. About Daniel Kaelin and how you said, quote, especially in today's era of college football, recruiting and especially a quarterback, it can sometimes get sloppy and often be grimy. How did this work out so perfectly? Because this is such a fascinating situation and storyline when you look at how they were recruiting Dylan Raiola, understandably so, but then Danny Kaelin commits to Missouri and then decides to, after he's pursued by Nebraska following Dylan's commitment to Georgia, he's back in Nebraska here.
Yeah, I just think this story, this recruiting story, is just so fascinating. That's why I wanted to write about it. Wrote some other stuff about Danny yesterday, sort of his rise into becoming an Elite 11 prospect, and got another one coming tomorrow. But this one's also extremely fascinating because it just never works this way. It never works out where to near perfection. You can't call it perfection because Nebraska, if it would have worked out to perfection, they would have gotten Dylan Raiola. That's who they wanted. That's who they targeted. But it's just, like I said, it's so rare especially in quarterback recruiting if you look at what happened, they prioritized Matt Rule, Marcus Satterfield, the Husker staff, prioritized Danny from pretty much day one on the job for 3 weeks. He's a clear-cut number 1 quarterback priority. Boom, Dylan Raiola decommit. And it's like, whoa, all right, like, we got a shot. And if they would have, 90% of staffs do. I'm just throwing out an arbitrary number. If they would have done it like you see most places, then they probably would have wound up losing out on Danny Kaelin in the end, and Dylan Raiola. And then you're kind of scrambling and probably wind up taking a transfer quarterback down the road. But just Rule and Satterfield, their honesty to Danny, to his coach, to his quarterback trainer, like to his inner circle of, hey, we love you. You're our guy. You could be a Power 5 star. We think you can be your starter at the Power 5 and a winning quarterback who we can design an offense around at Nebraska. But we're going after Dylan. Number 1 overall recruit in the country, the obvious family connections, and it would have been a landmark recruiting win, not just for his talent, the talent that he could have possibly pulled here, and it would have been a great story. Son of a Husker legend coming home, so to speak, quote unquote. But the honesty and transparency that the staff displayed with Kaelin throughout the process is what really sort of buoyed this. But then you have that on one side of the staff handling it perfectly with honesty and transparency, and then you have a perfect meshing, sort of a rare meshing of the quarterback, a guy 17 years old who is completely handles it business-like and professionally. Really, instead of getting salty or upset, he said, "Okay, like one of these things." Like, it clearly this is the story. I think it goes in all walks of life. Like, as long as you're honest with me and transparent, there's a good chance I don't like what you're going to have to say, or I'm going to be disappointed in what you have to say. But at least I'll understand and respect you for being honest. And so I think that went a long, long way. And so did the prioritization of Danny when they first got to town. A lot of things going into it, but that's where you start, is just sort of that perfect mesh of one side, the coaching side, being honest and open, and the other side, the recruit side, just being professional and mature about everything.
Zach, there was a quote in here from Danny Kaelin which kind of stuck out to me. And he says, quote, "There were just so many reasons to recruit him. Obviously, he's the number one recruit in the country, but he's also a legacy. There's a lot of other things going into it, especially with Rule being a new head coach. I feel like he had to go after him. Obviously, they wanted to. If you have a chance to get a guy of that caliber, you have to go after him. He's obviously extremely talented." Number one, what does that say about Danny Kalen's just awareness and character? And then also, like, he understood that maybe Nebraska's not the place for him, so he made the decision to go to Missouri, and knowing that, hey, Nebraska was my number one school. But more importantly, I think that speaks a lot to the character of Danny Kalen.
Absolutely. I mean, he was one of the more self-aware recruits that I've interviewed, and I mean, I've interviewed a lot of recruits, and he just that understanding and business-like approach is just it's rare. So what you're saying is right. I think it speaks a lot to how he views things and his character. And I mean, I know there's going to be naysayers who are going to say like he should be pissed off. He should have that chip on his shoulder and say "F you, Nebraska." Like he wants to prioritize this other guy over me. Like no, I'm made in Missouri. I'm sticking by it. But on the other side of things, like, kid grew up in Nebraska, dreaming of playing for Nebraska, and now he's going to be. He has the potential if he wins that starting job one day that he's going to be at the center of the biggest show in the state, biggest TV show in the state, and it was also perfect. Call it perfect, but an ideal that the coaching staff, the ideal game plan and development plan came along. So he has the opportunity to make a dream come true of playing for Nebraska, but it also makes sense. Like you're not just going to be putting the jersey on. They have a really good plan in place of how they want to structure the offense around him if he wins the quarterback job. So for a lot of reasons, it makes sense, and you don't want to pass up that opportunity if you eventually get it.
Last one before we go ahead and let you go. We're talking to Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska here on the Happy Hour. Nebraska has 9 commitments in their 2023 class so far. I guess just give us your overall thoughts. Is this the number? Is it where you think it would be for the middle of June? How do you assess this class? 'Cause that's one. It's loaded with 3 stars. It's not going to jump off the page necessarily in terms of ratings and 4 stars, but they've gotten a couple intriguing prospects.
Yeah, I mean, when you run down the list, I think things have been slower this whole time in the 2024 class. This is something I was saying on your show. I've written about it. I mean, traditionally, if the coaching staff is in place, like they've been recruiting throughout the cycle all along. So let's take the Nebraska coaching staff. They weren't recruiting these guys for months in the 2023 class. Like they kind of had to push fast forward and build a class like on warp speed essentially, and it was a big class. So they're putting so much energy into the 2023 guys, getting that locked up. Normally, you would be using January to get a head start on the 24-25 class, like the next class and the one after that, because you at the time you already had it locked down. But they were spending so much time in January, adding to 23 that you lose some of that time. You lose a lot of that time. So I think they've sort of been playing catch up, which is what was anticipated all along. So that's why I think one reason for the smaller amount of commitments or lower amount of commitments right now. But I think we'll see double digits by. I mean, it's not a crazy prediction. They're at 9 right now, but we'll see double digits at the end of the month, I think. But Willis McGahee is the guy in that class too. Like if they can hold on to his commitment, I'm really excited about him. And maybe that's personal bias because he plays the Jack. He is being recruited as a Jack linebacker, and right now that's like my most the position I'm most interested on this Husker roster with the new staff in place. So maybe that's biased, but I mean, you watch the film, it's like, holy hell, like this guy could be a dude at Nebraska. So that's, I think it's pivotal to keep him. Mario Buford, not too much to say about him. I mean, I think he's going to follow nicely in the footsteps of Mario as sort of that ultra competitor. And I think he's going to bring some really good things to the table. So, so we'll see. I mean, got the big weekend at the end of the month is going to be really telling, and that's what they wanted. They wanted recruiting at the end of the month, which is the exact opposite of what we saw last summer when the big weekend was at the first weekend in June. So really excited to see how that plays out.
All right, Zach. Hey, good stuff as always, man. I'm sure we'll talk to you soon here down the road. Plenty of more stuff to get to here in the near future. Did you get moved to everything back to Lincoln?
No, we're making the trip Saturday. We're making our way out there. We're gonna go Saturday to Indianapolis, spend a night with some friends, then Illinois, and eventually make the last leg to Lincoln. So it's I'm not looking forward to it at all. Like, she sold her bed and a sofa chair thing through Facebook Marketplace yesterday, and I was helping carry it down. I'm like, oh my God, I am not in shape for this. Like, we're gonna have to. I should have been getting some workouts in the weeks leading up to this so I could be prepared for it. But yeah, not looking forward to that part. But I am looking forward to getting settled finally.
Good stuff. All right, Zach. Hey, appreciate it as always, man. Have a safe journey back to Columbus, and we'll definitely talk to you soon here.
Yep, appreciate you guys. See you soon.
That is Zack Carpenter of Inside Nebraska. Appreciate his time as always. Let's take our final time out as we round out hour number 1 of the happy hour and transition in to hour number 2 here in just a few moments. You're listening to the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again at 48th and Vine.
Brown Cupid has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey-Doos to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes and brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Ahrefs. Stop by Brown Fit today, just south of 6062 in Lincoln. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road. Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/get-pets for more program requests and how to apply. Want to support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by 8. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66 and 2 in Lincoln.
Save money on energy-efficient equipment with the LES Sustainable Energy Program. Nearly half of the financial incentives are still available for qualifying projects. View incentives and learn more at les.com/SEP.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I don't believe you people.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Net. 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Happy Hour 937, the ticketfm.com. A little bit of news out of Husker volleyball as we round out the show, or round out the first hour, excuse me. Juniors Lexi Rodriguez and Merritt Beeston have been named team captains for the Huskers this year. Rodriguez was a captain last year, and Merritt Beeson, a transfer from Florida, was a captain with the Gators last year as well.
That makes sense.
We have a John Cook press conference going on. It was at 12:30, I believe. So it got moved up a couple hours. So we'll have some thoughts and reaction from that as we continue moving on through the 1 o'clock hour, and some of those sound bites come rolling in.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, as you said, Lexi was a captain last year. She's one of the best players in the nation at her position. And Merritt Beeson, even though she just transferred in, you could see it in the Wichita State match, and just hearing some of the other players talk about her and the fact that she's going to play 6 rotation. She's already kind of established herself as a leader on this Husker team. So her being named a captain, a little surprising, but not terribly surprising. So those two, and they have experience playing on the national stage for the Team USA U19 teams. So they've got that experience as well.
So once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those open for you guys, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as Allo Channel 951. Notorious B.I.B. asks, we'll just do this really quickly as we have to get to break here in a second. Who do we think wins the College World Series this year? Have you decided?
LSU.
You're going with the Tigers.
I'm going with the Tigers.
Okay. Sounds good.
Preseason number 1, possibly the top 2 picks in the MLB draft this year, and their rabid fan base taking over Omaha. I think it'll be able to carry them onto a title.
I like LSU a lot. Gosh, why can't I not think of Dylan Cruz? That's the number 1 overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft, is going to be an outfielder for LSU. I really like LSU. I can't go the same as Rico, though.
Were you going to pick LSU?
I was going to pick LSU.
You can. It could just be the happy hours LSU-friendly show.
I really like LSU in this one. I also, weirdly enough, TCU is one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They've won 11 straight games. And here's the deal. When you look at that first bracket obviously is a little – it's tough, right? it's not as loaded as bracket number 2. And so with that, if you make it out of that top bracket, out of that first bracket, you just got to beat somebody 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah, big test, but 2 out of 3.
Just 2 out of 3.
You got to win a series.
You just got to win a series. And so TCU starts the tournament off actually with a game against Oral Roberts tomorrow.
They're losing that one
at 1 p.m. Is Oral Roberts the Cinderella continues?
I love Oral Roberts.
Okay.
I have absolutely no reason, but they're the Cinderella team, and I want them to go far.
Okay, sounds good. Well, yeah, so I guess we're going to go with LSU.
Yeah.
All right, so we're both LSU. All right,
go Tigers.
That'll do it for the 12 o'clock hour. When we come back, we talk more Huskers when we return, as well as we're joined by the voice of Husker softball, Nate Rohr, at 1:30 today. Not when we come back, at 1:30 today, talk about the addition and just what the expectation is for next season. Well, coming up next, you're listening to the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio AC. The Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solutions. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
How many times has the dad in your life complained about beard and sore and done nothing about it? Why not change things up this year for Father's Day with a gift certificate for a massage from the Body Shop? It's not a day at the golf course or a new tool for the shop, but it is something that can make activities less painful going forward. Get Dad a gift certificate today for Father's Day at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
If you're interested in installing solar panels in Nebraska, there's a name you need to know. Solar by Alpine Electric is based out of Lincoln, and you can be sure your project will be handled with care and detail because Rick, the owner of Solar by Alpine Electric, will be involved in the entire process from start to finish. We're an RC Solar Certified Pro installer and handle jobs in Lincoln and the surrounding area. Let us show you real-time results in your area. Call Rick today at 402-440-4371. Solar by Alpine Electric.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated by a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It's so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah,
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog? A cat? Or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fee. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial and personal relationships. with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dude to catch you on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes from brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high foot scanner by Ahrefs. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln.
This is the Happy Hour.
We're on the happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll go for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to time jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It's hour number 2 of the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Once again, just a reminder, we'll be out at the College World Series tomorrow. We'll be hanging out with Blur Parties out at 12th and Cass Street in Omaha, which is basically just a block south of Charles Schwab Field. And we're going to be there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Doors open for you guys at 10:30 a.m. and they stay open until midnight, that is, from tomorrow to June 24th, which is the final day of the College World Series. Once again, it's the corner of 12th and Cass. You can't miss the big white tent for Blur Parties on the south side of Cass Street. This is the 11th straight year that they will have this tailgate, and this year they got the all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 4K TVs showing all the live baseball games, and multiple seating options that includes Rico's hammock. He already has tentatively called dibs on that one.
Dibs on the hammock.
You can buy the tickets at the door, or, which we recommend doing this, or you can go online at www.blurevents.com/Omaha. And we are going to post later this afternoon on the Ticket social media page. We have a promo code to where you can get a little bit of a discount on the tailgate tickets if you want to. Once again, it's an all-inclusive bar and buffet. You get to come and go as you please. It's connected to the Hilton Omaha Hotel down there, just a block south of Charles Schwab Field. And the two teams that are staying at the Hilton Omaha are LSU and Wake Forest.
Speaking of LSU and Wake Forest, the Omaha shirts
I saw that
are there, and I want to ask your opinion on them.
I don't want to talk about Oral Roberts.
I want to ask your opinion on these. The Wake Forest, the Omadeeks.
Okay, I like that a lot.
LSU, as was expected, Gomaha, spelled Louisiana way.
Geaux.
Virginia, Omahoos.
Yep.
Very close to Omahogs. Omahoos. Florida, Omachomp.
I like that one a lot.
Omachomp?
I like Omachomp.
That's weird. TCU, Oma Frogs.
Okay.
I love that one. Big fan of Oma Frogs. Oma Vols for Tennessee.
Man, okay.
And the two weirdest and saddest.
Yeah.
Oralaha. Oralaha. For Oral Robert. Oralaha.
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 Okay.
And Stanford says Stanford baseball.
Are you serious?
It says Stanford baseball.
I guess
That's
how
like nothing special. Just
I guess
Stanford baseball and
there is there is no way that you could incorporate Omaha into Stanford.
Oma trees.
But they're not the trees. You can't they're not even like their nickname isn't the trees.
Yeah, but there's a tree in your logo.
I understand that. You can't have it be Oma trees though.
Cardaha.
I also
Because
has
of
to
the
be
Cardinal.
Omaha.
Wait,
It has
it's
to be
Cardinal,
Omaha
does it?
first.
Oralaha?
Oralaha.
That's not Omaha.
I almost want to get an Oralaha shirt. Just
I kind of
just to get one that says Oralaha.
Oralaha. How do we pronounce it? Oralaha
Oralaha.
or Oralaha?
Would be Oralaha because it'd be
It's Oral
Oral
Roberts. Oralaha.
Yep, Oralaha.
Okay.
So I don't know. I might have to venture over to the stand tomorrow and see if I want to get
Stanford baseball.
just a Stanford baseball shirt. I don't know. It's hard also, Rico, to not when we were talking about our College World Series picks, go against Wake Forest. I mean,
It's
obviously
very hard.
they're the number one overall team in the country, number one overall seed. They breezed through their super regional, finishing off Alabama with a 22-5 victory. Have over 105 home runs this season as a team, and so it's going to be tough to dethrone Wake Forest. But we know what type of advantage fan-wise LSU receives when they come to Omaha, Omaha, if you will. And I would not be surprised if Omaha's able to dethrone them. So
There are 3 better versions than Stanford baseball on the text line. 402. Send in your ideas for what Stanford baseball should have done. 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line. You can also call in the Honda of Lincoln hotline. This person says Omanford.
Okay,
Another
Omanford.
says Stan
I mean,
Maha.
you could just say Omaford.
Omaford. That would work. Stan Maha.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
Stan for Maha.
Sounds like you're saying stand for Omaha.
Stand for Omaha. Well, of course, stand for Maha.
Stand for Omaha.
Although I think the stand for Maha might be a little long. I know Gomaha is pretty long, but I think it's about 2 letters longer, and I don't know how much they're going to be able to put that down. Although, I mean, anything is better than just Stanford baseball.
I do like the Omaford.
Omaford? I do too.
Stanford, Omaford. How about this? Tennessee will lose the opener to LSU, but make the finals and play Florida for an all SEC final.
I don't believe you.
I do enjoy watching Tennessee. Tony Vitello is one of my favorite college coaches.
Did you see that one of their pitchers might be suspended for a bit?
I did because the slashing,
the throat slash. If they find out that it was directed, or if they decide, that's pretty much what it is. If they decide that it was directed at whoever they were playing, I don't remember who they were playing. Southern Miss. Then he's going to be suspended for a few games.
Which I don't know. We can talk about that because in a situation like I was watching the game live when it happened, and he got out of a very stressful situation, high stress, obviously a pretty crazy situation playing in a super regional on the road. And I don't have a problem with celebrations. And I feel like it's such a fine line, or it's not a definitive line of where you can't cross in terms of actions that you do. He was not facing the batter. His whole entire body was facing the Tennessee dugout.
Yeah, I think he was doing it to his team. It was meant, obviously, for the people he was facing.
I suppose so, yes.
But he didn't direct it towards them, so it's not taunting per se. You could say that's just his celebration, and that's what he does. I don't know how often he's done it, but if you're Tennessee, that's probably the argument that you're trying to give to the NCAA. As the NCAA, if you're looking at it from their perspective, you are slashing your throat after striking somebody out.
Absolutely. I mean,
I don't care if that's a celebration.
Right. Yeah, it's not necessarily a good celebration. Maybe find a new celebration.
Yeah.
But
it'd be better.
Yeah, I mean, I think find a new celebration. But I think when you look up at his body language and the way his body was facing, he didn't even glance over.
Mhm.
Right? There's those situations where it was just in the College World Series a couple years ago. That pitcher from LSU,
I don't remember.
or not LSU, Louisville, who like looked him down, looked the batter
when
down.
he was just staring at him
Yeah,
the whole time.
yes,
That was
that was
a great moment.
That was the problem.
That was a great moment. No,
So-
it wasn't. Okay, I think we're into disagreements here. If
Okay.
you stare somebody down after doing something, I have no problem with that. Now, if you're staring somebody down and making some gestures or yelling something, then we might have a problem. Again, I don't really care, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's great for the game to show some emotion. But just staring somebody down, if I strike you out and I stare you down as you walk to the dugout, I mean, you shouldn't have struck out. That's my look at it.
Man,
But if I'm staring at
so
you
tough.
and I'm yelling at you, yeah, go sit the bleep down, bleep this and that, then now we have a problem.
That's difficult because it's almost like once he leaves the batter's box, the same can go for softball. So once the batter leaves the batter's box,
Mhm.
I am all for celebrations. I like the
With your
props, like
team.
the homemade the home run the home run props and stuff like that. The
The
chains,
sledgehammer,
all that. Yeah,
which
love all that.
I think you should be able to bring that out of the dugout, but whatever.
So I enjoy watching all of that. I enjoy watching celebrations with your team.
Mhm.
If you in that moment, your number one priority is to follow some dude with your eyes back to the opponent's dugout
Mhm.
when there's another batter already walking up to the press, or not the press box, the batter's box.
Mhm.
There's a new scouting report that you got to look down at your wrist, see how you need to line up, all that stuff. If staring him back to the dugout is your number one priority, that's where I think it crosses a little bit of
Well,
a
I don't
line.
think it's your number one priority, but it's just a thing that you do. Like if you and the thing with that, with the stare down, is those two had been chirping at each other for a while already.
Mhm.
So he's just like, look, you want to talk stuff, I'm going to talk stuff. Well, guess what? I just got the better of you, and I'm going to let you know. Granted, he's not yelling anything at him, which I think is perfect. Like, I think that's perfectly fine if you're just staring him down, but I don't think that's his number one priority. Granted, his number one priority was to get that guy out, to keep him from getting on base.
Well, and with
which
that,
he did.
with that Louisville pitcher, he did drop a couple FUs and stuff
He
like
did.
that.
And
So,
then that's you took it a little too far.
yeah. So you can't really say that, unfortunately. Yeah, Spotted Cow, great beer by the way, says, I'm with Rico. I'm all for showing the emotion as long as it's not showing up the other team or umpire. Hate the gimmicks though. I'm all for Jazz Chisholm's Euro step at the home plate.
Love it.
I'm all for just like, even if you hit a walk-off home run or a home run and you turn your entire body back to your dugout, if your dugout is on the first base side, and flexing and just like jumping up and down while you're right, 100% fine with it.
Fine with it.
But if you crossing the line,
There are some lines.
chucking the bat off to the side.
Oh, I'm fine with
standing there.
As long as you're not throwing
No,
it.
no, no.
If you're not throwing it at the opponent's dugout or at anybody, I'm fine with it.
I was gonna say chucking the bat to the side, standing in the batter's box, and cursing out the pitcher.
That's a problem.
That's good.
That's a problem. Now, if you stand in the batter's box for a little bit and admire
watch
it,
it.
I'm okay with it. I love when they admire their work.
There was I can't remember. I was talking to one umpire, and he said that there was one game, or no. It was actually when College World Series, they were mic'd up. The umpires are mic'd up, which is one of the umpire
that's great.
cam. I highly recommend for everybody to at least watch the umpire cam at least once for about 5 to 10 minutes during the College World Series, because that view is so much fun to watch. It's not, obviously, from the casual fan, it might not be the most enjoyable, but it was enjoyable to watch, just because you can kind of see and hear the conversations that they're having at the plate.
Isn't there a Tennessee pitcher who can throw triple digits?
Oh yeah.
See, I want ump cam for that.
It was the guy that did the,
Oh, you're right.
the slash.
I want ump cam for that, because I just love from a guy who never played baseball.
Yeah.
I love that angle, because for a guy like me, I'm watching this and I just think, how the hell does anybody ever hit a baseball?
Yeah. It's insane to split second decision, obviously. So with that though, I remember watching the College World Series, and it happened where it was a no doubt home run.
Mhm.
And the umpire was like, the batter just stood there and watched,
Mhm.
and the umpire was like, all right, let's go.
Come on.
And it had like that, those kind of conversations and those in-game little snippets are, I think, what makes it really enjoyable to watch.
You can watch it, but you don't have to stand there until it lands.
Yeah.
Then we have unless it's a line drive and it's going out quick, then I get be okay. But if you're hitting a moonshot that off the bat, you're like, that one's gone, and you're just watching it, then get going.
Yeah.
You should be at first base by the time it lands.
A little bit of news outside of Nebraska. It has somewhat to do with Nebraska basketball, I suppose. Former Husker basketball big man Wilhelm Breidenbach has chosen his next destination, and it is to another Power 5 school.
Of course it is.
In the Pac-12 conference, Washington.
Markel Fultz University.
So Wilhelm Breidenbach is now going to be playing college basketball at the University of Washington for the Huskies.
I'm fine.
Are you sad?
That's my son. Yeah, I'm sad.
It's disappointing.
He's so far away. Now I just need Washington to join the Big Ten.
Wilhelm and Oleg have both moved on.
Moved west. Both to W schools.
Yeah, Oleg to Wyoming.
Because that's what they're going to do. Is get W's.
What was like Washington's record last year? 20.
Couldn't tell you.
I mean,
like I said, that's Markel Fultz University, baby.
Okay. Washington Huskies. They were 16-16.
Oh, look at that, 500.
It's not bad at all. Lost by 17 to Gonzaga. Lost by 23 to Auburn. Lost to every ranked team that they played, though, unfortunately.
Dang it.
Lost multiple times.
Well, now that they have Wilhelm, they won't.
Yeah, Wilhelm. They played and they lost in their first round of the Pac-12 tournament to Colorado, 74-68. But all right. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by the voice of Husker softball, Nate Rohr. We talk Jordy Ball. We talk expectations for next season, and just see what Nate's been up to since it's been a while. Obviously, he was around for the Husker softball's appearance in regionals in Stillwater, the Big Ten tournament. So we'll kind of get the update from Nate and what he sees next season going like for the Husker softball team and Rhonda Revelle. We'll do that coming up next. You're listening to the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 97 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin from Draw in Lincoln.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer roads and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag on, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked here in India. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want Want to share? Big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, America is the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a and education award while helping people. Plus, young professionals to help you build your. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons, prices you're sure to love. Stop into the Butchery by Venue today. Located in our Venue at home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant.
The sweet relief of air conditioning after a hot day in the summer sun. For only $2.88 a day, LES helps power life's special moments and your comfort. Learn more at les.com/value.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Well, I'm an interior designer. A lot of builders don't have designers on staff. I'm included with our Aspen package and can make your home more custom to your taste, your needs, and your wants.
Rachel's our interior designer at Aspen Builders. She's one of the reasons that makes us really good at what we do. I'm Bob Benish, and we absolutely love how Rachel takes care of our clients.
I think the biggest challenge with building is a lot of clients are worried about all the choices. When they come in, they kind of deer in the headlights look. I like to ask people at the end, so what did you think? And usually they pause and they say, you know, you really broke it up, kept it simple. We just did one meeting at a time, so I wasn't looking at all the decisions I had to make. I had plenty of time to decide things. You walked me through it all. It made it simple.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success story over the years each from 17 for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. If you struggle with joint pain, good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico joining you as usual. 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those open for you guys. the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Twitch. And then in addition, we have a very special guest coming up here in just a moment. For 20 years, Allo has been disrupting the telecom game, providing meaningful connections, supporting businesses, and future-proofing communities. Switch to a reliable and buffer-free provider today at allofiber.com or call 402-480-6550. And with that, we go to the Allo VIP line where we're joined by the voice of Husker softball, Nate Rohr. Nate, afternoon. It's been a while, man. Congrats on having the positive season for Nebraska softball, but now it's gotten even better for the last couple of days.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the season in a lot of ways was kind of a struggle with all the injuries that this team went through. I mean, Kaylin Kinning going down with the broken hand, and Talia Tokine with a knee, and Abby Squire was a little slowed through the year with a hip injury, and even Billy Andrews, who put together an All-American season, battled an ankle injury, and that took away the speed part of her game through the first half of the year, or at least reduced it. But it was still a good year. I think it can be tabbed a success because they went farther in regionals than the year before. But boy, now today, the entire picture changes, and this isn't just adding a good player or even a great player. I think it really changes the ceiling and the scope of Nebraska softball in the years to come.
Well, you just tweeted this out earlier today, and once again, we're talking to the voice of Husker softball, Nate Rohr. Obviously, we've been talking about it quite a bit. Get the official announcement that Jordy Ball is going to be a part of Husker softball for the next 2 years. But you tweeted this out, Nate, at Roar to the Crowd, by the way, is Nate's Twitter handle if you want to follow him. Quote, a team that was positioned to be a Big Ten favorite and make a deep NCAA run just added arguably the best pitcher in the country and the face of the sport after winning her second Women's College World Series. That's just crazy to think about. And it happened pretty seamlessly, right? There was no panic from Husker fans of, is there a chance that Jordy Ball doesn't go to Nebraska? There wasn't any of that for the most part. It was just, all right, we're just waiting for the official announcement now.
Yeah, it was. Now, there are a lot of circumstances that I think made it fairly seamless. I think Jordy made it fairly clear that she was coming at least this direction. And, at Division I, if you're looking to compete at the national level in the state of Nebraska, there's one school you go to, with due respect to Omaha, which made regionals last year, and Creighton. The greater drama for me was when she announced that she was entering her name into the portal. I was fairly confident, but I will tell you that I waited to celebrate until this morning. I was fairly confident that Jordy was coming, but at the same time, especially with the last 15 years of Husker athletics, having seen that, I wanted to make sure everything was signed, sealed, and delivered before I really got ecstatic. And of course, now it is. Now I'm ecstatic. But I appreciate, and I want to make sure that I mention this. I appreciate the Oklahoma community's understanding of this. This is not somebody, just hopping programs to try and get a better NIL deal, although I don't see anything wrong with that. This is a kid who badly just wanted to come home and wanted to do what she does best in front of the people that mean the most to her. And I think that was very, very important to her. And I'm glad that the vast majority of Oklahoma fans have understood that. And I appreciate that from them, that they've gone, look, Jordy, we love having you. We understand the pull of home and the fact that Nebraska means so much to you. I mean, remember, Jordy committed to Nebraska as an eighth grader. And I think the University of Nebraska has had a big place in her heart, even as she's gone down to Oklahoma.
Now, Nate, um, we're all talking about her performances in the circle as we should be, but she's no slouch at the plate either. And Nebraska does love letting their pitchers hit. Is that something you see her doing?
I think the odds are very good of that. Yeah. Rhonda Revelle has not shown me her lineup card for Game 1, February 8th or 9th, 2024 yet, but I think the odds are pretty strong that Jordy is a part of the offensive lineup for Nebraska. And when you think about it just from that standpoint, I mean, this was a Husker lineup that was returning, depending on how you count it, either 7 or 8 starters. Courtney Wallace was more or less a halftime starter in the batting order. Of course, she pitched 2/3 of the games this year. And then Maya Felder, of course, was an everyday starter. So you felt like the Huskers had to add a bat this year because they were bringing back a ton in the lineup. Well, Jordy checks both boxes of being a great arm and somebody that can hit for you. I was really surprised in watching her pinch running appearances. Heaven help me that I was watching pinch running appearances closely, but the fact that she is so fast, she has tremendous speed. So it really seems that you rarely say this about pitchers, a 5-tool player. And oh, by the way, one of the best pitchers in the country. So the possibilities she brings as a hitter and as an offensive player are almost as tantalizing as what she brings in the circle. And since she was outstanding player of the Women's College World Series, from what she did in the circle, she's bringing plenty there too.
We're speaking with Nate Rohr, the play-by-play voice for Nebraska softball. And Nate, this isn't to downplay either one of these players, but I was talking earlier about how important and how much of a difference one pitcher can make on a team, especially in softball, with their ability to go multiple games and throw a multitude, like a whole bunch of pitches. And I was thinking back to the 2021 Women's College World Series and just the playoff run that James Madison had with Odyssey Alexander, and just thinking about how her impact with that team that wasn't a bunch of slouches. They were still really good, but the way that she was able to carry that team from regionals to super regionals to a Women's College World Series, and just thinking about how Jordy, although again she's not going to have to carry the team, but have the ability to put this team on her back, and just thinking of the comparisons between those two.
Yeah, I mean, you think about where you can have impact transfers or impact additions to a team, whether it's a transfer or whether it's a high school recruit. And I would argue that a two-way pitcher in college softball might be the one position where you can have the greatest impact, because they have the ball in their hand, as we said, half to 2/3 of the time for half the game, and then they can have an impact for you in the lineup as well. So they really impact the entirety of the season for you. And I don't, maybe a big time scorer in basketball who's also a great defender. Even a quarterback, they're only out there half the snaps. But of course, I think those would be the two positions that have kind of that equivalent impact to what an elite pitcher carrying her team can have. So yeah, I do see some parallels between Odyssey Alexander and Jordy Ball, and the fact that she's been on that huge stage, I think is going to be very helpful for this team as they try to get back there. I mean, for all that this core, Billy Andrews, Brooke Andrews, Sydney Gray, et cetera, have achieved. They were second place in the Big Ten. They won a Big Ten tournament. They've been to regionals twice. They haven't been to that mountaintop yet, and I think Jordy can show them the way.
We're speaking to Nate Rohr, the voice of Husker softball, and Nate, in Jordy's entry into the portal back on Monday, she says this: "I'm excited thinking about growing the game that has provided me so many opportunities for growth in the home state, a current overlooked state for girls in softball at all ages." I mean, when you just think about it, and it's such a unique situation, you kind of brushed on it earlier, just simply because it's a unique situation where Oklahoma, they treated her as well as anybody, right? And she obviously had insurmountable success winning 2 titles in Norman. And you saw the way that they treated her in the departure and the way that Nebraska has now welcomed her. It's kind of a really cool story, knowing that the reason at its core why she decided to enter the transfer portal.
Yeah, there was such a pull to come home for her. And you know what's interesting? I think there are kind of, you hear about like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And so there's a hierarchy of goals for a college athlete. The first level that many of them achieve is, I want to be a part of the winning team. Well, Jordy did that. The second one is, I want to win championships. Jordy did that. The third one, the top one that very, 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 very few athletes ever can even think of getting to, let alone get to, is, I want to change how people think of my sport in the homes where I live and in my region and in my conference. And Jordy coming home to play for Nebraska will do that. Yes, people were plugged into her success at Oklahoma and knew, hey, she's a kid from Papillion that's pitching for the best team in the country and a national champion. But the thought that you that you can come home, play game in and game out for the Huskers, for your home state team, and you can tell the girls throughout the state, look, that can be you too. I mean, that's been a powerful message for how many generations of volleyball players?
Yeah.
And look at the litany of volleyball players from places that don't have a stoplight that have come down to Lincoln and succeeded. And then you even look at women's basketball, somebody like Jordan Hooper from Alliance, I mean, not Omaha, coming down and having success. And so I don't know that message has always been there for Husker for softball players here in the state of Nebraska, and maybe it's not been loud enough, but bringing in arguably the face of college softball and putting her in a jersey that says Nebraska on the front, I think that's a pretty powerful message to the girls in the state, especially the ones with softball aspirations, to say you can do it and you can do it here, and I think that's really exciting.
Well, Nate, just 1 minute ago, Nebraska posted on Twitter that it says, quote, "The future is looking bright for the red team. Get your name on the Husker softball ticket request list today." With the, understanding, are they going to need more seats at Bowling?
The thought has crossed my mind. Absolutely. I think people, this is the sort of player that grabs your attention like that. And I think it's going to be tough to get a ticket at Bowling Stadium for the first time really in some time. I do need to tip my hat to the marketing staff at Nebraska, because we were able to get crowds of 1,000 people or more with some regularity toward the second half of the season. We had some good promotions and the team was good. But I think it's going to be a fight to get tickets next year. And they do have that big third base side concourse that just grass, and depending on how sales go, I think the odds are decent that they'll have to bring in more seating. I don't know if their plans are to bring bleachers in, but the Husker fans might force their hand, because as we know, Husker fans are ready to support a good team, men's or women's, indoor or outdoor, doesn't matter. If they're good, they're going to be there. And I think Nebraska softball is going to be pretty good, and so a lot of people are going to be there.
Nate, do you think it's at all possible to add a second level to the press box? Because it's going to get kind of tight in there.
They have kind of that attic thing where they put cameras. I've wanted them to turn that into a second deck. But yeah, the press box is going to be really crowded. I might have to be scalping suits in the back of my booth next year. It might be a good way to raise some county scholarship money for my son and my two daughters.
Well,
as long as shoved in the corner right over there, all the way on the other side of you.
Well, see, there you go. Yeah, for a small fee, I'll see if I can't track down one of those barstool type seats.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, as long as Nebraska never gets as bad to where they put you outdoors, like you have to be at some of the tournaments.
Isn't that the truth? My goodness. I mean, yeah, if this were Northwestern, I would have to get one of those cherry pickers that the electricians have and do my broadcast from up there because they'd be out of seating.
Yeah, might as well. Nate, hey, appreciate you coming on and on such short notice. It's definitely an exciting time, and we'll talk to you soon down the road.
Hey, I'm happy to be with you, and I'm glad to be talking Nebraska softball in the middle of June.
Yeah, tell us about it. We'll
Great
talk
time.
to you later.
Sounds good. Thanks, gentlemen.
That is Nate Rohr, the play-by-play voice of Husker softball. Obviously, a very, very exciting couple of days here for the red team. Let's go ahead. We'll take our final timeout. We'll wrap up the show one final time here in the studio as we'll be out at the Blur tailgate at the Hilton Omaha tomorrow. So we'll bring in Austin and Strick for the crossover coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or 1501 Center Park Road.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneer, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet. Rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to a world of yum.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certification. And also has jobs available and great plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing, the whole family will enjoy with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Heartland International in Lincoln reminds us that people today are facing more hardships than ever before. It's becoming all too common to hear that someone has become so desperate they've taken their own life. People almost always warn those close to them that desperation is near. Be a shoulder to lean on and insist that they seek professional help. This message from Dennis and Penny Nunn at Heartland International in Lincoln, marketing quality products since 1974. Visit heartlandinternational.com. We're stronger when we help one another.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and our big summer sales event is underway this month. Right now, get 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. 0.9% APR on select new Chevrolet and GMC vehicles, plus a $1,500 trade-in bonus on select Silverados and Sierras. You put all that together with some big couple discounts, a tremendous buying experience. So stop on into the dealership or check us out online at couplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Generation V.
Opening a new location at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Join us this Saturday during our grand opening sale. Everything is buy one, get one free. Mix and match between Vape, Delta 8, and Kratom, or buy 2 of your favorites for the price of 1. Buy 1 Elf Bar disposable, get 1 free. Buy premium THCA flower, get a free glass pipe. You decide what to BOGO this Saturday.
Generation V.
Don't miss the grand opening sale this Saturday at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Guys, it's that time again. Another 10-week challenge at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is starting on July 8th. I joined Farrell's a little over a year ago, and with their help, I've lost over 125 pounds and can confidently say I'm in the best shape of my life. The 10-week challenge combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching in a way that is approachable and achievable for any skill level. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the cost of enrollment. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 70th and Vine or 40th and Yankee Hill.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
PJ, did you ever get a chance to meet Broderick Sandman Thomas?
Yeah. He had 1 year where he just went off.
Tampa?
Yeah, he had 174 tackles.
Wow.
And 11 sacks in 1991. 7 forced fumbles.
That's right. You know, like when I asked Terrell, who's the best linebacker? I don't know if I've ever heard Broderick Thomas come out of Terrell's mouth. It's always the same guy. Jay Foreman, Levant David. But again, if you don't watch the tape, you don't know how good they were.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Stainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Look at me. This plane is going.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick, Rico, and now Austin are joining you here for the crossover. Thanks again to Zack Carpenter for joining the show in the noon hour, and shout out to Nate Rohr, the voice of Husker softball, joining the show here in just a moment ago, actually. Austin, hello. Let's turn the mic on.
One more time.
Hello.
There it
Hello,
is.
Austin. Rico, we were talking how Nebraska tweeted out something about, hey, join the request list for softball tickets today.
Yes.
I mean, just smart move.
Mm-hmm.
What are the
wonder
prices?
why they're doing that.
What are the prices?
So my wife, shout out to Rachel, sent me. She texted me and said, "I'm wondering how if I can manage to go to an entire home softball season and handle 2 crazies on my own, because they are having reserve ticket prices for the season. Season tickets for reserve seats are $96. General admission for the season are $61 for adults and $31 for youth and seniors. So for $96, you can have season tickets to softball in a reserve seat, probably somewhere around, home plate or stuff like that. General admission, sit wherever you want in the berm, in the bleachers behind the third base dugout. $61 for the whole season.
Do you guys want to know how much Oklahoma season tickets are?
A lot more than that.
For softball.
A lot more than that.
Oklahoma softball. For reserved box seats, $425.
Box seating?
For reserved box, I'm guessing it's like club level.
Yeah,
I would assume.
They have very fancy softball.
General admission, which I would assume would be like the outfield.
Do they have outfield seating?
They have outfield seating.
Oh, they do. They do. Yeah. Okay.
They have bleachers, which I would assume maybe farther down the foul line as well.
Probably.
$275.
Woo!
Children's ages 5 and under will be admitted free of charge. Oh, here it is. General admission seating is located in the outfield only.
Sounds about right.
So there you go.
That checks out.
So for Oklahoma softball, you can buy season tickets for outfield for $275. Everywhere else for a reserve seat.
What, 30 home games ish?
Yeah.
$9 a game, still not bad.
I feel like Oklahoma gets more than Nebraska because they don't have to worry about the cold weather earlier.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But again, Nebraska's 96 for reserve seats for an entire season, 61 for general admission adults, 31 for youth and seniors. So
and just make the check out to Jordy Ball. It's going to hurt.
Yeah, just write Jordy Ball. Well,
Yeah.
Jordan Ball. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like you have to use her actual
DYN.
Yeah,
yeah,
not AN.
It's a good week for Jordans.
Yeah, Jordan
And
Larson
Nebraska.
joins the staff.
50,000 for a season
From September
to December.
Till December. 50 grand is the salary for just her contract expires December 31st. This is Jordan Larson, by the way.
Yeah, this is not Jordy
yeah, this is not Jordy Ball.
Before the season even starts.
Jordan Larson, contract expires December 31st, 2023, unless it's extended past the year, obviously. Austin, did you see Wilhelm Breidenbach is going to Washington?
My boy.
Washington?
Yeah.
Washington.
What's up at Washington?
Like Huskies.
Really? Wow.
Like D1.
That is not where I expected him to go.
Like Markel Fultz University.
West Coast, I expected.
Yeah.
but-
That's West Coast.
Huh.
Just
Well,
further
yeah,
north.
I thought he was going to be like a Cal Irvine or a Fullerton.
Yeah.
type of guy.
Nah, man. He's
Pacific,
D1.
potentially.
He's D1
Gervais
Power
Green U.
6.
And Power 6.
I do
Seven?
wonder how much
Power
of
6.
Wilhelm's career at Nebraska not taking off was him and how much of it was the Big Ten. I feel like he was developed to try to hang in the Big Ten, but part of what made him unique at 6'10" was that he could move a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think once he put at times it was frustrating just because he would dribble. I know how stupid that sounds. I know how stupid that sounds. I don't,
would dribble.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that way. Like, unfortunately, though, he just struggled to hold on to the basketball at times, and the big bodies down low were an issue.
He wasn't strong enough to hang down low, but not quick enough to utilize his foot speed, and also not good enough for dribbling.
And unfortunately, like this season, just shot poorly to where he couldn't stand out on the perimeter. You weren't okay with him standing out on the perimeter, just taking a couple jump shots.
Like the thing is, that he would make those in practice because he had the confidence to take those in a game without a second thought. And it's not like the coaches were immediately pulling him after he pulled up from three. So he would obviously make those in practice. So and that's just the problem.
Well, okay. How many times have we heard guys have made those in practice?
All the time.
Flat Mayan shot 86 of 100 on Fred's favorite drill.
All the time.
That's true.
I still believe Flat Man wasn't given a fair shake.
Flat Mayan was given more than a fair shake.
He wasn't given enough.
Flat Mayan had plenty of opportunity.
I don't know what people kept leaving windows open in PBA. I don't know what was going on. They cheated my boy out of being great.
They did not.
They cheated my sons.
I wish I could agree with you.
Both of them, Oleg and Wilhelm.
Both of my children were cheated.
Who scores more points per game next year, Oleg or Wilhelm?
Wilhelm.
Man,
it's Wilhelm.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I don't know the depth or the roster for each team for either side. I really want to say Oleg,
Fast
but
pace, West Coast fits the style more.
I think they both crack 7 points a game.
No. Wilhelm does. I'm not going double digits. I'm going 9.
No.
6.
No.
5.
1, 3, and a couple.
I just don't have any faith in Oleg being able to score more than one free throw.
I'm going to look up the Wyoming roster really quick.
So while you do that, I'll look up the Washington roster.
Yeah, you guys do that.
And we'll take a 10-second timeout as well for station identification.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Oleg walks into Wyoming as the tallest player on the roster at 7 feet tall. They have 2 guys at 6'9" and 1 at 6'10".
Oh, yeah. Oleg's starting.
He's also, I believe, the heaviest player on the team.
Oh,
yeah.
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
He's the biggest, he's the biggest body on the team.
Oh, he's about to take the Mountain West by storm. You know what? I changed my answer. Oleg.
That's horrible. Okay, so trying to just quickly look at this. It looks like Wilhelm is walking into a place where, let's see, for forward, that is, there is one that's going to be a sophomore. The rest are going to be one that's going to be a junior next year. The rest are going to be sophomores next year. And the guy, it was, where's his name at? I just missed him. I think it was Anthony Iglesias. He averaged 0.8 minutes per game. Nope, that's not him. Just kidding. That is not him.
Washington.
I'm struggling to find his name. Maybe he didn't crack the scoring column last year.
Washington, as I pull up their roster, is fascinating. I didn't realize they added Severe Wheeler from Kentucky.
Oh,
I did not know that either.
I learned
Washington
something
building
today.
a squad.
Yeah,
That's at least a top 25 transfer class.
no, top 25 transfer class and top 25 program were two very different things.
Yeah, ask Nebraska.
Like Cal
Unfortunately,
brought in a top 10 transfer class this offseason.
And they're going to be
Cal.
top 25.
No,
That's how these things work, Austin.
It
I
is
don't think you're saying
not.
transfer recruiting leads directly to wins.
If only.
The
Austin,
correlation is there. Nebraska football just messed it up.
Austin, what's coming up on the show today?
We got plenty coming up on the show today. We'll talk about Jordy Ball coming home, that aspect of it. With Strick being an in-state guy, want his perspective on the pressure of playing in front of home state fans. So we'll talk a lot about that. The SEC schedule came out. Mississippi State had a horrifying AI-generated graphic.
Yes, but also, what's worse, the graphic or those road games?
Both. They're both bad. So we're going to dive into the SEC schedule, compare Nebraska's 2024 slate to Oklahoma and Texas's as they join the conference.
Texas got the easier end of that draw.
Texas did, I would agree. Lots of NBA stars in trade rumors. Brad Beal, Zion, Karl Anthony Towns, Zach LaVine all being floated out there. We'll dive into that.
Not Zach LaVine.
And,
Can't change the game.
Just asking. And then John Morant, over under 50 game suspension.
Yeah, hopefully Zach LaVine doesn't get suspended.
You mean
why was Zach LaVine get
Or
suspended?
it's traded. Excuse me, traded.
I hope
traded.
everyone for the Bulls gets traded and your team sucks.
That's right. Anyway, that'll do it for us today. Stick around on the block. Strick and Austin coming up next right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Adios.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC in our big summer sale right now. 9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. 0.9% APR on select Chevrolet and GMC vehicles, or trade-in bonus on. Put all that some big discount, and you have a beer. So stop on into the.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. But there are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
There's never been a better time to earn more on your checking account. Open a free Kasasa Cash checking account with Liberty First Credit Union and earn up to 5.5% APY for up to $40,000. It's simple. Open your Kasasa Cash checking account online or stop into any of the 4 Lincoln locations or Seward and Omaha branches. Liberty First makes switching easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. See Liberty First NCU for details. Fully insured by NCU.